Yo, we back live on location, man. We got the blackest one over here in all his blue and black plunder. You feel me? He shining on you.
You know
we
that
in
don't.
LA, Los Angeles, California, man. We got LA's own. We got LA's kid. We got the NFT, Bitcoin, the blockchain wonder. You know what I'm saying? We got Spencer Dinwiddie in the building. This was my rook in Detroit.
Yes, sir.
Now he up here being grown man status, putting buckets on people's heads, making deals, out there making Bitcoin things, do what it do, man. We pleased to have him there. We about to learn something, y'all, and we gonna talk to a young baller. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah. First of all, man, thank you. Definitely respect and we appreciate you being on the show, bro.
Came through the door as a rook while I was out there in Detroit. We ain't had this before.
When you first got to the league, when you first started playing, who was the first person to bust your ass?
First person to bust my ass? I mean, we could take it to practice. I mean, BJ definitely got me a couple times, and that was kind of a full circle experience. Yeah, because you got to remember, like, I'm an LA guy. You know what I mean? So, like, I grew up watching them. So Larry Drew was at Taft. I grew up watching him because I went to Taft. You got Drew Holiday, you got DeMar, you got BJ, you got like all those guys who were like seniors right when I was in like 8th grade and going into in 9th grade. So like those were the dudes.
Yeah.
So getting to Detroit and then him being like on the team and it being his team, you know what I'm saying? Like that was kind of a full circle experience. So I'd probably say that BJ's first one in practice for sure.
One of the things I like about like your story, like I always try to say, it's kind of harder for a guy to be the man coming in from the draft, and as you be the man and an organization got confidence in you, they start to lose. Every team you go to, they start to lose confidence in you. Your story is like they counted you out and you persevered through every situation. Just speak on that to always just have confidence in yourself, because I always preach confidence in players. Like confidence is one of the most important things. You can easily lack confidence by going to a coach, going to another team, getting sent to the D-League or whatever. So just tell us about the confidence of you never lacking the confidence in yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think the league's mostly built on confidence and opportunity. I would say my confidence was built just from like every stage. So at no point in time was I ever like McDonald's or number one player in my class or any of that. So
how is this possible? How can you be the California basketball player of the year?
Because it only happened my senior year.
No.
Junior year wasn't rolling like that.
Timeout, I don't care. If you're in California and you play in LA, your senior year, you get the Wooden Award.
Yeah, I got that.
How do you not make McDonald's? That had to be like a conspiracy theory. In California,
I'm telling you.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like to me, it's like, you know, you got to see Chicago.
That's one of the biggest
New York,
states. You gotta be.
California. Like if you like the dude in there, that's like almost a shoe.
Our guys my year were Jabari Brown, who went to Oregon.
Jabari Brown.
Josiah Turner should have made the game, but something happened. Were those the only McDonald's we had that year? Shoot,
that's crazy.
I can't even remember. But like my class was Anthony Davis, Austin Rivers, Michael Kidd, Gilchrist. Like it was all those guys.
Them hitters.
Yeah, we had dudes in our class for sure. Shoot, Quinn Cook was in that class. A lot of guys.
I'm not even. This is no hate to nobody in the class. It's just astonishing that the Wooden Award winner from California from like LA didn't make it. Like to me it's always New York, Chicago, you know, LA. The big cities always got at least one.
Yeah. And
I guess, you know, whatever. But I was just surprised by that you would win that and not be in one of those games.
I mean, shoot, that's where I've always been. You know what I mean? It was normal, you know what I'm saying? I had to fight to get on varsity, you know what I'm saying? I had to fight to start on varsity. And then, you know, finally was my team junior, senior year. And like, you know, in college, like I came in and I started, but, you know, it was Carlin Brown's team and he was a great vet and 5th year guy at the time, you know what I'm saying? But each stage, like I always had to like work through something, you know what I mean? So you build a confidence over time. And I probably relied on my parents too a lot growing up. They always, you know, would just be like, yo, they had like kind of a no BS mentality. You know, even when I got hurt my first time, like I was crying and stuff like the night I got hurt, and I was talking to my mom because she had flown out to Colorado to see me, and she was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, you know, all sniffling and crying. I want to go to the NBA, blah blah. She's like, "So do it." Like that plain, that flat, like not like my baby this, none of that. She just looked at me and was like, so do it.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there like, well damn, I guess I better go figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
You know? So that's how my parents were.
Do that give you something? Because, like, one thing, I always had confidence in myself, but that one person, like my mom, was that one person I knew that she had the same confidence in myself that I had in myself, and that's all I needed. Then nobody else have to like me no more. You know what I'm saying? So is that the same way with your parents? Like, I just need them to support me and be with me.
Yeah.
I feel I can do anything.
Yeah, so I was fortunate to have 3. So I had my parents, and I also had my grandmother on my mom's side. She's since passed away in 2017, but growing up, I had those 3. And so you can't tell me nothing, because as long as they say it's possible,
straight up,
well, I'm gonna at least give it a try. You feel me? So that's kind of the way that I move through life in general.
Okay, so that's what I was about to ask. Like, where did that, because, you confident this, that, and third, but where did the outspokenness with the confidence come in? This man walked in the door, second round, like, hey, word, like, it's cool. I was second, I wasn't supposed to be. If it wasn't for this injury, I'm lottery picked. Like, I'm not, no cap, like, you know what I'm saying? So where did that come from? Because even, I was there first 2 years, on the ground every day seeing, and it was like, I saw you, even when you went through adversity, this, that, and the third, like, you never lost, like, not playing whatever. Sometimes you get, the NBA humble you in certain ways, but you never lost, like you said, whatever your mom and grandma told you, it was like, but whatever, like, in your mind, we used to always talk about it, me, Malik, all the guys, we like, this motherfucker still like, you ain't, his confidence ain't shaking, bro. Like, whatever happening, like, you struggle with this, but it was like he still had that, like, where did that outspokenness come from to be able to tell people, like, I'm supposed to be here and this and that?
Well, I mean, like I said, the road, right? I mean, you look at it, I can say, damn, my first practice, BJ busted my ass. Or I can say, well, I also never lost one-on-one while I was there. So I can look at it one of 2 ways. I can go home and be like, damn, I'm in Detroit. My family ain't here. You know what I'm saying? BJ just busted my ass in the 5s. Or I can be like, shit, can't nobody see me one-on-one, and I'm fresh off of ACL. We gonna figure it out. We gonna get there.
Like, listen, I can attest to that. They would play one-on-ones after, right? And that was probably when I started to give him his respect, because I used to be like, me, I'm like, who is he? He come in with all this confidence and swag, like, bro, he's second round, chill. Like, he talking a little too much. You remember how you said to you, like, but like, real talk, he's 6'6", 6'7", so I would watch him. They playing ones, it would be like BJ, sometimes DJ Augustine, Stanley. No, Stanley wasn't there yet. Stanley came.
Nah, second year.
But like, so it would be them, that kind of group, and it was like he was bigger than our guards, and it was noticeable when they got in them drills. And the thing that was the funniest to me was his facial expressions. This was the arrogant shit. He'll do some big boy shit, 6'6", 6'7", float over him or whatever, and he'll kind of like look back, like, and the first time you catch, it's like, wait, was that? Then he do it, say, oh no, he's swagging on their ass right now, like, okay, now I be telling him, like, look, this one crazy, dog. He like lightweight talking shit, but he not. And I saw, like, oh, okay, like, nah, motherfucker could score now. He gonna get a bucket. So that was like when I first really got to start seeing, like, okay, because like you say, it's sometimes it could be tough, you know what I'm saying, to play when you a rookie coming straight in. And you get thrown in that, and like you say, he trying to figure out his rehab too. Because I remember that being a big part of it. Because they wasn't expecting you came along faster than we expected you to, and he was like wanting to just get out there. And so it was like I knew it was both of them things that he was kind of navigating. But to his credit, he picked that shit up. He picked it up.
Thank you.
So you could have chose Harvard. For your college, like, like Harvard, I don't care how good you in basketball. Like, if you ain't getting it the other way, you're not coming that way. To even get the opportunity for them to even offer you something, how was that? Like, because that's big, especially being a black kid.
That's again mostly my mom. She was got a PhD from USC, was a professor there for a number of years, and so academics was always first. And she was just on me all the time about it. Like, there was no real like thought process that like Spencer's gonna be like the NBA guy. You know what I mean? Like, up until probably senior year of high school. And it really started looking like, okay, you might have a shot. before that, like they pushed academics, and that was it, because that's what my family knew. I mean, I have uncles and stuff that went to UCLA, and I have a cousin that's a doctor, went to like Johns Hopkins or whatever. Like, you know, that's kind of what the family did. So all that side of the family was mad. Like, how could you not choose Harvard? Like, you'll set yourself up for life, and that wasn't what was in my heart to do.
To teach like that to academics first, did that make it easier for the basketball to be like, look, this ain't what I'm supposed to do, and this is what I want to do. I'm just doing basketball. This is what I want to do, but I got this. This is the foundation.
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, it was never like my full identity because of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
So going through the struggle wasn't as bad as the player that all they got is basketball and all they know is basketball. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I was still gonna be Spencer and the weird crypto kid, like regardless of basketball. And I think that's probably also somewhere where the confidence comes. Like I'm really just cool just being me. You know what I mean? Like you said, when I walked in, man, he still wear like team stuff and like free stuff. Hey, listen, that's what I do. Like I'm real cool just kind of being me, flowing on my own wavelength. And so, but when I get out there, like, because remember, like at the same time, this is what I wanted to do since I was 4. I'm not about to just let you take this from me neither. Yeah. And so that's where you get some of that like switch up. And I don't never mean it from a bad place, but like if I score and I know it's nice, I'll be like, damn, that was nice. Yeah. And I'll talk to myself and that was something DJ used to hate, and DJ's my guy, but he used to hate that because I would talk to myself during like while we were playing. I'd be like, oh, that's nice. I'd be like, oh, here it goes. Okay. Yeah. Oh shit, shot was short. I'll give him next time. Don't worry about it. Like, ooh, I killed that. And he used to hate that. He'd be like, shut up, and I'd be like, honest, and because he was my vet and we lived like a block away from each other, and I told him one day, I was like, bro, like honestly, I don't mean anything personal by that. Like, I just learned that through the years, like because I felt my back was against the wall the entire time. So it was me. Obviously, my parents can't go out there and play for me. So I got to figure this out.
Like, it was a legit, like, tripped out. Like, listening to him say this, it's like watching it in real time when you don't understand it at first. I'm telling you, I'm sitting back looking at him like, he not crazy, but his confidence, like, it ain't the type of, like, you know how everybody like, oh, the fuck. You might not understand it, but his swag out of here. Like, his swag is out of here. It's his own, but, like, he don't see certain shit. And I was like, I kind of, like, me and Malik used to talk about that shit all the time, sitting there watching. Because, you know, them long days, we trying to figure shit out and trying to figure all y'all out. We used to be like, this motherfucker Spence supposed to be so good, but he crazy.
Nah, I mean, like, I never really fit in, like, into different, like, places. Like, think about the Harvard shit. Like, I didn't really fit in with them. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I would have went. It was cool. I didn't really fit in like that. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, you got all these other, like, demographics and stuff like that. Like, I got, you know, sides of my family that went to UCLA. I got sides of my family that do very different things. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And I was just kind of like, guys, I just want to play basketball. And so when you start not fitting in these places, you're just kind of like, all right, well, it's you. Let's figure out a way to do it. And so some of that comes from that. And it's not like a bad place. And I don't ever really want to piss nobody off, honestly. But at the same time, like, if it does rub you the wrong way, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm going this direction. And that's just what it is.
You know what you want.
Yeah.
Could have been anybody else in Colorado. What made you choose Colorado?
Oh, yeah, nah. For me, that was simple. So I would say my true Final Four colleges, Colorado, Harvard, UCLA, and Oregon. My dad went on the visit with me to Oregon and was like, I don't want you to go here. And my dad very rarely says anything like that.
Oregon was dope.
I thought it was too. I was ready to commit.
Nike, everything.
They showed me the whole thing. The J's on one side, the prototypes on the other side. I'm over here like, bro, I'm ready.
Garrett
like,
was on point.
Yo, I was in my mind, I was going to Oregon just for the flash, and we went to like a party, and it was crazy, like the whole nine. So I'm ready to go. And my dad's like, Spence, I do not want you to go here. And I was like, what? Like, cause my dad's not a controlling dude. Like when he speaks for real like that,
I mean,
you're like,
I got this because he don't never even say that.
You don't never say nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't commit on the visit, and I was like, all right, I'll give it time. Like, I'm not promising I won't, but I'll give it time. Like I said, UCLA was just on some like, you're an LA guy, you just won the award, boom, whatever. Like we want you to like stay home, but like we ain't really rocking with you like that.
Right.
And you know, like everybody's had different situations where they know, like, you ain't really rocking with me like that. Like, you just doing this to do it because it'll look bad if I go crazy. So with the Colorado and Harvard situation, you know what I'm saying, that was really when my parents were like, you got to make a grown man decision. Period. We know
the last two, Harvard and Colorado was
the
last two?
Oh,
that's interesting.
Last two. So those were like my legit last two. Yanni Huffnagel was at Harvard. We ended up going into Lemon Perfect, the water together. So that was crazy. But yeah, they were like, hey, like, you gotta make a grown man decision. And so most of my family wanted Harvard, of course. My basketball people wanted Colorado, and I wanted to play basketball. So like that's really how that whole thing happened. But if my dad isn't on that visit, I'm probably at Oregon and probably have a completely different career.
To get the success, like to go to the tourney,
yeah,
like because Colorado ain't been to the tourney like since early 2000.
Yeah,
for you to get there and go to the tournament, how was that for you? How was that experience to be a part of the NCAA tournament?
So that was crazy. We actually had like the most successful stretch in Colorado history. We went to the tournament every single year. Even the year I was hurt, we started off so crazy that like we still got in.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was just different. Like, it was the highest level of basketball I played. You know, like I said, my freshman year, Carlin basically took us to the tourney. So a lot of it has to do with him. Like, I had games and moments and things that were really good, but like Carlin was like our guy. Like, he was who we like really relied on.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another stepping stone that taught me about consistency. And granted, he was fifth year senior, so he might have even been like 22 at the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was like 18. But that was another like learning curve and things like that. So that was huge. And then sophomore year, like, you know, Andre Roberson played really well for us. Skia Booker, Josh.
Who you say?
Andre Roberson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nah, I said this in Detroit. I don't know if you remember this. The two best rebounders I've ever played with in my life are Andre Drummond and Andre Roberson. Both got the same name. Crazy.
Difference between the
Did
two.
You know
one
you
of them
had
put hands on them. Though.
Yeah, okay.
We know why.
We know that won't happen.
You had the perfect game.
We know that won't happen. We know that won't happen.
You had the perfect game. Did you know you had a perfect game that game? Did you know you didn't miss nothing that game?
Oh, shit. That's right. No, I didn't.
So they told you after the game, like, man, you know you didn't miss tonight? Like a shot,
like,
a free throw? Or...
I was like, what? Yeah, like a lot of – the thing about college was, especially sophomore and junior year, I knew I was the guy. And so there's almost a certain level of, like, calmness that you have when you're the guy because, you know, you're not pressing like, oh, I got to call the right play every time or I got to make my shot because I'm only going to get two of them. Like, you know you're going to score. You know you're going to have the ball. Like, so you're just playing to win. Like how can I put my people in the best position to win? Because, like, I'm going to end up with 15, 18, 20, 22. Like, it's going to happen. Like, eventually it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes you get in a little bit of a flow or zone. You start hitting shots. And then something like that happens. And they tell you, like, you know, you didn't miss a shot. Or there was an Oregon game, I think, where me and Ski both had 30, and it was like the first time two players that had 30 at the same time. Yeah. It was something like that. But we had set like a couple different records and things like that.
How do you still have the confidence to declare from the draft after coming off of ACL surgery?
I mean, it all starts with like the first conversation I had with my mom, where she kind of was like, "Yo, like just do it." Well, Nike commercial.
Bet on yourself.
Yeah. No, but in all sense, like sincerely. So that was the day that I got hurt when I landed back in Colorado. And so when she said that, I just started researching. And so at the time, Adrian Peterson was the like standard for ACL recovery, 6.5 months or so. He was back playing. He had surgery within like a week. And to do that, you have to get the swelling down. So that was like step number one. I think I had surgery in 8 days that time. And then just like stay on top of the process. And I didn't make my decision to declare for the draft probably until March or so, because I got about 8 weeks past surgery. I got off crutches. The images were solid in terms of healing. They said my meniscus was starting to heal and be back better because I had torn, ACL, medial meniscus, lateral meniscus, and my MCL. So it was everything with that one.
Yeah, I did that shit too.
Yeah, like it was terrible. So once I kind of started to see light at the end of the tunnel, and people were talking about the draft process, and they said, like, you know, are you okay with going in the second round? And to me, I didn't know how the league worked. Because like I said, I had nobody in my family being in the league. So I didn't know like, oh, first round picks are treated like this, top 5 picks are treated like this, second round picks are treated like this. I just thought, shit, listen.
Everybody gets treated the same.
I'm going to show up. I'm going to go ahead and win these ones, figure out the game, and we're going to get it on and rocking. And obviously, if I had known the way the NBA works, I'd have left after my sophomore year. I would have never went back. And I love Colorado. I love you, Coach Boyle. But to all the kids out there, if you are on a board, leave. Do not stay.
Anybody board.
If you are on a board, leave. And if you get like even the slightest bit of a promise in the first round, leave. Yeah. Like, dude, all this run it back stuff, no. Don't do it, because the way the game works, instead of saying what you could be, they're going to say what you can't do.
What you can't
do. So no shot at any college.
To criticize and be critical.
Yeah, realize no matter what pick you is, if you can't play, you ain't going to play.
Yeah, exactly. Like you done.
You can be number one pick, and if you ain't shit, you ain't going to be there.
Oh, yeah, nah. Exactly. And so that's pretty much all that happened. They were like, yo, like you're going to be in the second round, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. Yeah. Like, I'm going to show up. I'm going to win these ones. Like, he knows. Like, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be like, look, I know y'all may view me a certain way. I shouldn't have been a second-round pick. I'm here to work and get better and prove to y'all that, like, I am who I was supposed to be. And that was the mentality I had. And, like, he knows. I get my wins when I could. I had some losses. Not in ones. Always win the ones. Except for against KD beat me. Other than that, though, ran the table. Any teammate I had, that's another thing, too. To this day, and people always laugh at this, to this day, any teammate that I've had, I've beaten them in ones. Period.
So tell me, how was that to get up in the one-on-ones with Easy Money Sniper, one of the like probably if not the coldest offensive player ever,
and Durant one-on-ones? Like, how was them one-on-ones for you?
Oh, I mean, Kyrie's probably the most skilled basketball player that I've ever seen. It's just that you got to use certain advantages that you have at the time, right? So I'm 6'6", and
bigger,
6'10", wingspan and stuff. So, you know, hey, listen, as long as you stay a little solid, make sure you don't put you on skates, which is a hard thing to do because best handles ever. You contest high, contest a little late.
Keep your distance and just contest. Hope
you miss. And hope you miss. And if he missed more than I miss,
I win.
I win. You know what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted. What about
that 7-footer though?
So that's the difficult one, especially like with the way that he shoots. Like if you really look closely, it's almost like obviously Lonzo's super exaggerated, right? But he does kind of bring it like to the left and then brings it over his head, and obviously he's 7 foot. So I mean, shoot, you try your best. I mean, like you said, he's depending upon how you view basketball, either the first or second best scorer of all time, depending upon if you view Kareem as like a scorer, right? But like in terms of scoring versatility from like paint, mid-range, three, deep threes, etc. Like, nah, like he's got the entire package. And he's 7 foot. He's really a 7'2" guard.
So when this jumper, he don't even see you.
No, and then the other cold part about this too is he kicks his leg out. So like you talking about 7 foot slight fade, kick the leg out.
He don't even see you.
No, you're not even there. You got to try to do your work early.
It's practice right here.
You got to do your work early. You got to do your work early, and then because once he gets to his shot, if you can't stop it, then he don't see you. So that's how I took my only one-on-one loss.
Coming to the league and going up, down G League, coming back up. Guys, teams waving you, bringing you back. Like, when did it click? Like, I know it clicked with the Nets, but what clicked in like how an NBA team is structured? Because now this is your third team, and you kind of been up and down. You see the favoritism in the locker rooms. You see who's valued, who's not. You see where you can succeed in and where that's not successful for you. Yeah. You know, you see the guys who party. You see the guys who don't party. You see the guys who work. So for you to go up and down, you had to figure out a pattern with some team, you know what I'm saying, to get that click to start having the opportunity to have your career be successful in this.
Oh, yeah.
So when did it click for you with the Nets to come off and it was like, yeah, this is it. I can see my niche.
Yeah. I think everything, as crazy as it sounds, everything I needed to learn, I learned in Detroit. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like, it was, 2-a-days, 3-hour practices each session. Like, it was tough, right? Rookies didn't get treatment times, like, just all types of stuff, right? So you learn basically like the like bare knuckles, like hard way through the league, right? Mm-hmm. But also straight shooters at the same time. So you're like, okay, like, all right, is this what the NBA is like? I went to Chicago. They sat me down right after they traded for Michael Carter-Williams. I'm on a non-guaranteed deal or whatever, and they said, we're going to keep you. And I looked at them and said, you just traded for Michael Carter-Williams. He was the rookie of the year. We're both 6'6" point guards. He gets paid like, I think maybe like $3 million. I think I was on like a $400,000 non-guaranteed. Yeah. I wouldn't keep me. Yeah. Business-wise. 2 days later, they cut me. I'm like, there's no reason to even lie like that. Yeah. Like, I'm sitting here saying, business-wise, I wouldn't do that. You just traded for the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Why would you keep me? Right? So then you learn kind of that difference. Right? I would say what saved my career and got some of the love back was when I chose not to go to China to make some money. I went to Windy City.
G League.
Yeah, G League. Nate Linzer, my coach, sat me down and was like, look, I know the G League's a grind. I know I just saw you through training camp. You should be on an NBA roster. As long as you respect me and you don't come down here like, I should be in the NBA, blah, blah, blah. I'll give you the ball and I'll let you get yourself out of here. I looked at him and said, what? He was like, that's all I asked. I said, all right, well, I'm going to do everything in my power to win you some games, coach. And went down there, and it was my show. I got to rock. I got back to, like, playing because I hadn't had a chance to rock since being hurt.
Yeah.
I went straight from being hurt in 2014, you know what I'm saying, sitting on the bench, 2014-15, sitting on the bench 2015-16, getting cut in the 16-17 season, basically playing 2016-ish, 17 in the D League, and then getting signed to the Nets late. And from there, it was just taking the principles that I learned in Detroit. You show up 2 hours before practice. You stay 2 hours after. You know what I'm saying? These were all things that I learned how to be a pro in Detroit. So, like, in a lot of ways, it set the stage for everything that you guys see now because I learned how to be a pro in the hardest system possible.
Yeah.
So I went to the Nets, and it was easy. I just was a pro. I just did my thing. I was still the same guy, still had the same confidence, but I learned the habits and the standards and the manners and all that other stuff and said, I'm going to put everything on the line. And then I was fortunate enough, and kind of knock on wood, and not fortunate enough because guys got hurt, and when they got hurt, and because I was on a bad team, they said, fuck it, we'll give Spence a chance.
Yeah, opportunity.
Yeah, like they didn't go sign somebody because it was win now mode or whatever. They just said, fuck it, like here, we'll give Spence a chance. And I was like, yo, like I'm not letting this one go.
Right, exactly.
Like, period.
That's the old school mentality because a lot of guys in the old school mentality, they make guys go through them steps.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Yeah. But these days, a lot of guys can skip so many steps that you get the few like you that go in the second round that's just as good as the first round player. They got to go to this G League, because organizations just don't believe in them. Not that you're not good enough.
Yeah.
They just don't believe in you yet to succeed like that.
I think what he just said speaks to, we always talk about, but I think it gives it a stamp of approval in a different way. We always talk about how Miami is one of those places, right, where 9 times out of 10, if you're the right type of player and if you trying to do the right thing, if you get drafted there, we literally feel like you have a I don't know how much percent, but a way better chance, and you're going to get a base. You're going to get a foundation set of how to be a professional and how to carry yourself. And it's going to, like you said, it's the hardest of circumstances. So after this, everything is easy. So you got the same thing coming, and I always put Stan in that family because he's from the family tree of that, and he handled his business. I like identical almost to the Miami situation. So what you came into was that exact thing, and you're sitting here saying that it prepared you, even though you weren't one of the guys. You struggled up and down this and that, and it didn't, so to speak, go your way in Detroit. But the things that you learned there from that system and from the way Stan goes about it and demands things from you, that set you up for everything else along the way.
1,000%. 1,000%. Like, as hard as it was to go through that, and as much as at the time me and Stan bumped heads, like, he definitely set the stage in terms of, like, teaching me how to be a pro just from the system and the culture. Because, like, you go from tape shoot-arounds, 2-3 hour practices a day, to no shoot-arounds, show up at the gym when you want, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? That could be good and bad. Because if you're not really about your action, and you're not putting your work in, then you fall off. And so for me, seeing, like, okay, this is what it could really mean to be a pro. And if I really love this game the way I say I do, and I really have wanted this since 4 years old, am I gonna learn from it? And this again goes back to, like, the confidence and the mentality and all that other stuff. Like, I could say BJ busted my ass in fives, or I could say I won every one-on-one. I could say I never played in Detroit, or I could say they taught me valuable lessons. Look, I never played in Detroit.
Right.
No bones about it. Like, that's just the facts of the matter. But they taught me how to be a pro. And so when I got to Brooklyn and they said, all right, no shoot-arounds, everybody's on their own, blah, blah. And you see some guys that were averaging a little bit more points a game, but then wanted to go party and took advantage of no shoot-around so they could stay out later or whatever it is. No, my process stays the same. On off days, I come lift. I get in the sauna. I do this. I have a shot routine. You know what I'm saying? Night before, I want to go to the arena, fill out the arena and all the other stuff. Like, just every single day. You give me this free time, I'm going to maximize it. And those foundations, beyond my parents, obviously, were built in Detroit.
Now, I'm glad to hear you say that, man, because my man, I feel like Stan got a raw deal in New Orleans and all that. Even in Detroit, we was there, but like, I firmly, I'm a huge believer, man. When I went to Miami and then, obviously I went to Orlando after that, but like when I got there, I was looking around like, yo, like if I'd have been exposed to this from day one, like my whole career would have been different.
For sure.
And I saw that. Remember, we saw that when L.O. left. L.O. was with us 1, 2, 3 years. Then he left and went to Miami for 1 year and came back to the Lakers and was like a different dude. I was like, that 1 year did that to him. And then once I got there, all I had was 1 year. And I saw what it felt. Then I followed it up and went to Stan. And the thing I appreciate about Stan, Spo, and that whole type of, like you said earlier, you've experienced it. Somebody who, regardless of whether it's in your favor or not, this person is telling you the truth.
Yeah.
And you know that they telling you the truth. And it ain't like, the one thing I always respect about Stan is that this ain't got nothing to do with whether I like you or not.
Exactly.
If you're going to help me win a game, you're going to play. And as long as you're doing the right things and you can help me win, I don't care what. You can play.
Yeah.
It was never personal. So, like, when you say that, all those things speak volumes to me because I always felt like that. It's good to hear somebody who it didn't necessarily work out for there, but you still acknowledge what that foundation was laid out for you and what it did. So that's dope to hear.
Like, I know you had them up and downs them first couple of years with you, but that year that it started clicking and D'Angelo Russell started swerving and LeVert, y'all whole squad, y'all made the playoffs, y'all started making some noise in the league. Like, how fun was that season? Because it looked like y'all was a fun team to watch. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hitting game winners. Y'all beating big people and y'all putting up big-time buckets.
Yeah.
On people, so it looked like y'all was just having so much fun, and I know that was probably the first year out of a 4-year experience you had in this league that, this is you want to be successful in the league.
Sure.
This is the top. You finally got some taste of success with that team. How fun was that season for you?
Oh, that's been the most fun season of my career, for sure. So that was the 18-19 season.
Yeah.
And even though I played better in 1920.
Got a bag, got a 34, little pocketbook money.
Do
not take away my pocketbook money.
Nah, but 18-19, it was just such a different collection of guys. Like, gotta credit Jared Dudley as the vet. We had Ed Davis, who was a great vet. Shabazz, great personality. Rondé Hodge Jefferson, as misunderstood as he is, phenomenal dude to be around. Joe Harris, quality guy. Jared Allen. And then obviously you got the three of us who were, putting in most of the buckets. But it's just the team, the camaraderie of it. And when you talk to OGs a lot, they talk about missing that kind of camaraderie. And I think that was probably the most special group we had. And probably also because we all kind of felt like peers. You know what I mean? And so we kind of approached it as that, and it just had a different vibe to it, honestly. It was fun, though.
Y'all look like y'all had a ball. Y'all dancing on the sideline. Y'all was really rooting for each other's success.
Yeah.
That remind me of us when we was younger. And teams have success when you just rooting for, y'all was counted out every fucking game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys came from teams where they didn't want them, they didn't feel like they was being successful, but all y'all was talented and y'all showed it and y'all clicked with it. Yeah. Especially with you, D'Angelo, and LeVert.
Yeah.
I thought that was real special for how y'all so much bucket getters, but y'all look for each other in that. So that was a special season for them. I'm definitely.
That's why I feel like you say y'all felt like peers because it was kind of all of y'all was at the same point, trying to get out the blocks, trying to become who y'all becoming and all of that stuff. So how was it for you to be able to go to All-Star and be a part of the skills competition and actually win it?
Yeah. That was a lot of fun because when the opportunity came up, it wasn't really on my radar. I didn't think it was something that I was going to be kind of invited to do. And then it was also in LA. So when I won, like my family was there and everybody kind of went crazy. And, so it was a cool little thing. And then you just realize like when you're in the All-Star Weekend in general, you just kind of get a little bit different respect. And obviously there's another level because the actual
you
game.
Wasn't in but dog, that's what you watched forever growing up. That's what I'm saying. You actually got the moment that some of the greatest players in the game don't get to stand up there on that stage by themselves and hold up whatever trophy it is. So, I got to win a 3-point contest. So, that's still a lot of respect because, like, for me, you know what I'm saying, that's a moment that you watched a million times.
Definitely.
On TV growing up, we all watched the All-Star game, and it's like you got that moment. You get to stand up there with a trophy, you get interviewed. Like, that's, like, you know what I'm saying, a culmination to me.
Skill-wise, like, you're an attacker.
Yeah.
Like you deep in attack. Who put that mentality? I watched you come out of college, and you know how you see these guys that come from small colleges, like Colorado, Tennessee, Baylor, stuff like that, guys like that, and you be like, man, he done won. Like he a dog because we watched y'all in college, and you know it slows down in the NBA. But who put the mentality of like the attack? Because when I watch your game, like your attack is serious. Like so
probably my dad, really. My dad he should have played sports that were not team oriented because he's just out there like I don't understand, Spence. If you can beat the person, if you can beat the person in front of you, beat him. I'm like, hey, it's a team game.
Different than that.
Yeah, it's a little different. There's help. There's so he's like, no, but I don't get it. If you can beat him, then just beat him. Like that. And he would say that to me like since I was a kid. And I would always try to tell him like, yo, it's a little different than that, but you know. And so I think you take pieces of those conversations and that's the way he was. Like, if you can beat him, beat him.
And slow down. Like Brandon Roy got drafted to Portland when I was there, and one of the things that I loved about him, his control of his pace.
Yeah.
He know how to go fast. He know how to go medium. He know how to slow it down just to get off the screen and just cut it back up.
Yeah.
That's things I see in you, too. Where you get the stop and go, the speeds, the level.
Yeah.
You don't be out trying to be the fastest out there. You don't be the slowest.
Yeah.
But you know when to turn it up, when to get in your spots, and what makes you succeed on the court. Where you get that from?
Honestly, I would say probably just being a fan of the game first. Like I've watched basketball, like I said, and played since I was 4 years old. And so you start to see like you said, Brandon Roy is super effective doing it that way. Kobe was super effective doing it another way. Then you got great point guards doing it in a variety of different ways. Magic Johnson, you know what I'm saying? Just all these different players, Penny Hardaway, et cetera. And so you're like, hold on, like I don't have to.
More than one.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't have to be a speed demon. I also don't have to do this. Like I really can't. If I can start to see the game the way that these greats started to see it, and I know a couple steps ahead. I know if I step here, the entire defense is gonna go that way.
Man.
And so it's all about like prediction too. If I know you're playing, you know, drop coverage or whatever it is. Okay, now I know when I come off this screen, I'm gonna have this entire lane open.
I can sway the defense.
Yeah, I can sway the defense, move him, all this other stuff. He's gonna ice me. I'm already gone as soon as he shifts his feet. As soon as he plays uphill,
chest and checkers.
There you go.
You got a dog with you now. You know that boy from the Lou. Just so you ain't no Q. You know he from the Lou. You got another dog with you now. Now you and his other dog, and y'all so similar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in height and built.
Yeah.
Everything, the way y'all work, mid-range, outside, you know, off the dribble, off the screen. Like how excited for you to just, you know, go to a new team, you know, new contract, new start coming off of ACL, have a guy like Bradley Beal with you and ready to build for the future. How is that for you?
I mean, a couple of things. Obviously, like for me, from an organization perspective, I've never been in a situation where they had that much confidence in me, right? So now I'm 1B, which is dope, right? And so I'm excited and want to push my limits, right?
Yeah.
In terms of Brad as our 1A, like I've never played consistently with somebody as good as him, right? Like obviously we have KD, Kyrie, and now even Harden on the Nets roster, but remember, like I didn't get a chance to play with him like that. Like I played with Kyrie, I think 15 games or something like that, the year that he struggled with the shoulder, and then I didn't play really at all last year. So if you take that kind of out, Beal's definitely the best player I've played with. Right. And, you know, a guy that led the league in scoring, like, and can get not just 30, 40 any night.
40, 50.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I think for me it's like, you know, it's fun. One, it's, you know what I'm saying, exciting. I think there's also going to be a lot of ways I can learn from him. You know what I mean? Like, he's reached a level in the NBA that I haven't reached. You know, like I would say my highest level in 1920, I averaged 20 and led a team to the playoffs, but I never made an all-star game or an all-NBA team. You know what I'm saying? These are things that he's done. So, you know, I still have 2 more levels that I hope to reach, you know what I'm saying, at some point in time. And you know, if anything I can learn from him, even though we're the same age, like, he's played at that level and sustained it. So, you know, I'm excited.
How optimistic are you about this year? I mean, I feel like they, you know, reunite with our boy KCP. You know what I'm saying? He going to be out there in the mix. We know he a dog. Got Trez, you know what I'm saying? I feel like y'all made out with some good pieces. Cool's coming, like, you know what I'm saying? How you feel about, you know, the outlook of the season coming up?
I think definitely our goal should be playoffs. I don't know which seed and that type of prediction, stuff like health and things are going to matter a ton and all that. But
and all type of crap.
Like, you know, but playoffs should definitely be our goal. You know, we have depth. I think we want to see Rui continue to take next steps.
I think he's going to be nice. Like, Drew Gooden is my neighbor, and he does broadcast for y'all. He calls the game. So we talk about y'all team. Like, y'all got a lot of, you know, like, young, untapped talent. Like, I'm excited to see Thomas Bryant get healthy and get back in the fold, because he was coming on before he got hurt. And I think y'all got a nice crew, man. I think you know how it go. Like, people gonna predict what they predict, but you know how it is when you get in that locker room.
Exactly.
I think if y'all lock it in together, y'all could do some shit.
Nah, for sure. I'm with you. I think we have to establish a culture, a standard. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's on Beal and then myself to spearhead that. But we have a lot of time. I mean, remember, Kuz was a 17, 18 point a game scorer in the league. Like I said, Rui, you want to take next steps. Gafford's a guy in that Jared Allen mold, right? Like, Jared Allen just got $100 million. You know what I mean? So, like,
athletic as hell, too.
Yeah, like, run the floor, block shots, dunk it, you know what I'm saying, good hands, all that stuff. So, like, you know, we got to come together. We have a lot of steps to go. Like, this is not a finished product. It's not a, you know, just walk out on the floor in Milwaukee Bucks Nets type stuff. But, like, we have a chance. And Beal being a 40-point type scorer, you always got a puncher's chance. You know what I'm saying? You got a good chance. You got 40 and hopefully 20 from me. You got 60 on the board. So, like, let's get it right.
Last year, the playoffs and the whole playoffs and all that stuff was so hype.
Yeah.
How much hair did you lose? Knowing, like, man, I wish I can get out there and just play for my team.
How close were you? You was flirting. I
heard you was flirting.
Like you might have been able to get out there. Like, how close was that?
Very. Like, you know, my agent would cringe at that all the time because he wanted me, you know what I'm saying, to wait because of free agency and whatnot. But very close. Like, if we could have got past that round, like, I was gonna report back, go through like all the progressions and try to get back playing. I mean, shoot, I play fives right now. Like, I'm at the runs and everything. So, you know, it was definitely a possibility. And something.
I seen you dunk somebody the other day, put it on their head. I seen
when does the season start? All this shit. I say there you go.
I seen it.
Hey, man, it's part of it, having a little bit of fun. But I mean, for me, when I took the 335, 2018, that was the whole goal. Like, build towards a championship type roster.
Yeah.
Because, you know, obviously you wait till free agency, you probably get more than what, $12 million a year, but that was the goal. And so to be right at that goal and to have it kind of in your hands, but understand it, like, injuries, not just even to myself. We got Harden with the hamstring, Kyrie with the ankle, you know what I'm saying, myself, like, that's, you know, Harden's a 30-point-a-game scorer, Kyrie's a 25-point-a-game scorer, and I was a 20-point-a-game scorer. Like, that's 75 points sitting out.
Quote. You said, listen, I guaranteed if there's no injuries, y'all running away with all this other talk ain't about nothing.
No, and that's the thing. Like, I wasn't even regardless of myself.
Even if you wasn't out there,
no injuries to Harden and Kyrie, I'd have had a ring.
Yeah.
Then obviously, you know, and selfishly adding myself on top of that, for sure winning a ring.
Yeah.
For sure. Like,
what's that feeling though? Like, to be on a team like that, like, to know, like, in the beginning of the season, even though like you say, you weren't able to be out there, like, when you watching this culminate, you like, am I about to get a ring?
Oh, there
like,
wasn't a doubt
what was
in my
you
mind.
think? Like, how was that process?
There was not a doubt in my mind. there was not
you
a
like
doubt.
It's done. It's
Bro, there was not a doubt in my mind.
and people, you stood on the table.
I had people from my hood talking about, hey, you about to get a GM's ring, not a player's ring, because like you ain't playing. And I was like, bro, I don't care.
What?
I'm getting the ring. Hey, which finger you want, boss? Like, come on, man. I had not a doubt in my mind.
I just know as a player, I know it, especially when you're on the team, and you know what your team is going through during them times, and seeing how close they was just without all that.
Yeah,
I know you lose her.
Oh yeah,
like man, if I was out there in that moment
for sure.
And being through 4-5 seasons, you get a kind of a feel. This ain't easy. Like this is crazy to be have a chance.
Yeah,
this one of the things that why we enjoy doing this show, like, and you know what I'm saying, we bring who we want on and we get, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I feel like you are a perfect example to everybody to stay the course, keep fighting, keep believing, keep going because of everything. Like, look at your story, you know what I'm saying, you should have been a lottery pick, you blew out your knee, you probably would have been picked way higher before that. Then, you know what I'm saying, get to the league, things don't go your way, you still, you know what I'm saying, persevere, whether whoever for the blame, misunderstood, understood, whatever, like, you know what I'm saying, then you get back on, you grind, get out the league, all the way out to the G League, and you still, like, for me, I feel like you the picture for any kid out there that's going through anything, kid that just blew out his knee, tore his shoulder or whatever, and it's like he down thinking he out. Like, you are a prime example in a picture of, like, it ain't over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like your mom said, do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are the picture of that. Like, how do you ever really get to think about that or look back and, like, you are an example for all of these kids and you are somebody they could look up to, like, because you ain't got to be the number one pick. You an underdog, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be the number one pick. You ain't got to be this. You ain't got to be the guy, the feature, keep going. You're going to get yours and you can be. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you ever see that? Do you ever kind of look at that in that respect? Especially, like, I'm looking at your training, how you went through it this year, like, to see how you was shredded. You know what I'm saying? I saw you came in the door physically and everything. You got bigger, you got stronger, everything, explosiveness. Do you ever look at it like that?
I would say sometimes in, like, the quiet moments when I'm talking to my parents, like, they'll talk like that. But a lot of times I think when you're running the race, you get kind of caught up in the race. You know what I mean? So
tunnel vision.
Yeah, like you always had the next step. Like, for example, when I got hurt this time, you know, my whole goal was I wanted to have the fastest ACL recovery in history, and I wanted to make it back for the championship. Like, if I could, that was the goal. Then that's when, like, the conversation with my parents will come about, like, because when the Nets got knocked out and I was gonna, like, go on vacation, my parents had that conversation with me, like, do you realize, like, you just had the fastest ACL recovery in history? And I was like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, I did, but, like, my goal was, like, I want to get back to the championship, like, because even if I'm only playing 10 minutes a game, like, to be out there to experience that, because I'm thinking, like I said, there was no doubt in my mind.
You just knew y'all was in
bro, there was not a doubt in my mind. Like, if Harden and Kyrie play,
that's a
and
tough
I'm not playing, like
we gonna win still.
We still winning. So if I'm getting out there in 10 minutes and just experiencing it, the championship, just the focus being locked in, the dedication in the atmosphere, all that other stuff, like, I'm like, shit, like, that's something I can't pass up. If I have a shot, I'm taking that shot because we gonna win regardless. But I definitely want to be a part of it if I can.
People gotta just know, like, when it's in a team sport, like, man, 10 minutes is an important 10 minutes on.
Yeah, like, if I can get out there and take a charge.
Yeah, like that's important.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this. Tell them how important it is for, like, the weight room. You know, like, a lot of these kids feel like you can just go in the gym and shoot 1,000 shots and you just gonna automatically be good, and they leave out the weight room part of it. I was one of the kids that I didn't grow up in weight room. I just grew up in the gyms. You know, I feel like that's why my injuries got to my injuries, because I didn't keep my body as strong as a LeBron and some of these guys.
That's
the
different.
reason they have long longevity. You know
For
what I'm
sure.
saying? But I seen you this summer. Like, I follow you. I seen you this summer, man. Some of the stuff you was doing, I'm talking about jumping from box to box and all this. I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, tell them how important that part of it. Even though if you had an ACL and you had to do it, but you still, even when you don't got an ACL, you got to put that same type of work in. And tell them how important that is.
I mean, first I'll shout out Mike G, my trainer, because you know, obviously he
challenging you, push.
Yeah, challenging. But Mike G, there you go, Mr. Do It, moving on Instagram, plug him. But nah, I mean, to your point, I think you said it right. It comes down to durability. I think I learned that after my first ACL, and then obviously going to Detroit and all that stuff. And I think I had a very high durability up until this last one, like just the games played and all that other stuff. I had like a hand injury one time, but that's kind of, what it is. But I think the guys who really dedicate to their body, eat right, get enough sleep, are in the weight room and stuff like that.
Cook their own meals and stuff.
Yeah, well, hey, listen.
Fake chef, homeboy RD over here.
Look, at this table, there is one person who is the best at working a big green egg and grilling and stuff, and that would be unequivocally me.
You might got the egg off you. He might have seen the egg from you and got
I'm just
it off
saying,
you, man. I ain't seen it to Orlando. He came from Detroit and he had an egg then.
First of all, I had a green egg while he was still in college. Before he even afford the thing, I had a green egg. Don't disrespect me like that.
I haven't seen him with it. No.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? All I know is I'm the best griller at the table. Anyway, no, but in all honesty, like you said, man, I think, some people talk about getting too buff or being too strong, whatever. No, like the weight room, the biggest key that it gives you is that durability.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously part of this game is being available, especially if you're not the number one guy. Like if you're number one guy, you can kind of be injured and miss games and do different things. But one of the pieces to my career was when that person did get hurt, whether it was Jeremy Lin or Sean Kilpatrick or D'Angelo Russell or even Karras, like I was always ready. And I was available. I wasn't like, my ankle's sore tonight, I can't go either.
Yeah.
And so they go down the bench again and say, we're going to give it to Shabazz Napier or Chris Chose or whatever. No, hey, listen, I'm here. Ready to go.
See, I would say that he learned that from me, but I ain't really get to beat up on him at practice. That was Stanley Johnson.
Like the guys that they say is the best players, the Kobe's, the Jordans, the LeBron, they are monsters in that weight room.
Oh yeah.
They think they just, like a lot of these young kids think they run into the gym and they working on move after move, but you see Jordan change his body and be a different player when he going against Detroit. You see Kobe in there. They think Kobe, he show up to the gym late, but he hitting that weight room just as much as he hitting that gym. And with LeBron spending $1 million on his body every year.
That's different.
You know what I'm saying? That's like...
That's next level.
Yeah, that's next level. You got to do that.
You got to have that $90 million out of high school to be able to spend a couple million on your body. I was like, bro, shoot, I just now can afford that. Like,
hey, look, that ain't no lie.
9 years in the league, I just now can afford it.
Look, speaking on Kobe, right? You a LA kid. I know firsthand. I don't think you've ever won anything. Well, actually, you have. After you got your own situation, you had before your own shoe situation, you had nothing but Kobe. Mm-hmm. So you wore number 8. You changed to 26. Tell me the significance of Kobe and the impact he had on you and your basketball career.
So we all have idols or people that we look up to, and like I talked a little bit about my family. Nobody played basketball. It was academics and all this other stuff. So you look for kind of that figure that you can attach to in the lane you want to go down. And Kobe was by far that guy, right? Like I said, I started playing basketball at 4. That's basically right when he got into the league. You know what I'm saying? He got in the league in 96. I was born in 93. Mm-hmm. A Lakers fan through and through, LA guy. Like I grew up with his career. Like all of the pieces, like when you talk about perseverance, like that starts with my parents. But then when your favorite player has, the Mamba mentality and the, I play with a broken finger and I keep going and nothing stops me and I work out. I get up at 6 a.m. and work out. And like those stories, like as a child, like you start to aspire to be that. And they stick with you. And so you got, your parents pushing you in a certain lane and you believe in them, but then you got your like basketball idol, right? And so, you go through that process, like chasing that dream, chasing that ghost in a sense. And obviously we played different positions, so it wasn't so much like chasing his career path, but like just in terms of how he like approached the game and thought about it and how can I be 1% better and, just stuff like that. Like that's where you get a lot of that from too.
How was it? I want to say I was there when you first met him. Was that
did
Ryan introduce you? Who did that?
No. BJ did.
BJ. I remember. So look, I remember we at the game, and I remember for the game, he like, yo, if I just get in just getting in, he was tripping, right? So I remember the game, and I remember BJ like, comes calling him over, and I remember him being a deer in headlight. Like, walk me through that moment. I remember seeing it and us laughing and, cracking jokes, but like, tell me that kid has been watching him forever, like when you got to meet him and you in the NBA too, like how was that for you?
Well, so for me, it was crazy because obviously, like, your parents always teach you, like, you fear no man, every man bleeds. Like, start nothing but you finish it, like all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying, like, there was, because of the way, like, my basketball career, just life and all that stuff, it panned out, like, that was the exception. That was the one exception. And then also because his career was also kind of ending as I was coming in, so I never really had to, like, play him for real. So, like, a LeBron and stuff where, like, a lot of my boys like, oh my gosh, LeBron. It's like, bro, I gotta go play that man. Yeah, I ain't hearing none of that.
Give him no
right. I ain't hearing none of that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, there was never gonna be a time where me and Kobe really had to, like, cross paths like competitively. So he just got to remain, like, the guy. Yeah. And so when they called me over and it was time to, like, meet him for real, not just like a kid, like, oh hey, can I get this autograph, but like eye to eye, like, hey, like, I'm Spencer. Hey. What's up? Like, it was like I was, I'm 12 years old again. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, and then actually getting to, like, talk to him a little bit more, like, later as I started to hoop a little bit more and kind of having a different level of respect. So, I talked about that moment for the Hawks game, like, and for him to, like, acknowledge me as, like, nah, like, bro, like, you really doing your thing. Like, it was like, hold on, wait. Like, I know we spoke. Yeah, I know we spoke a little bit. I know we kind of text a little bit, but, like, wait, like, you've been watching. Like, I thought you were just being nice. Like, you actually watch me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of crazy. So, nah, that was the one person from a basketball perspective that was it's just always separate. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a shot at a LeBron or even a shot at, like, a Michael. It's just, like, how I grew up.
How I came around.
How was it for him to tell you in 2020 when you was that close, like, that you were all-star in my book, like, cold, like, yo, MJ.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, that moment right there was crazy because, like, I had gotten to a point where, like, I could text him every now and then, stuff like that. Like, that's probably starting, like, 2018 or so. And he offered me, like, or said, like, hey, like, when you're in LA, like, let's catch up. And I never really got a chance to do that. But even when he says, like, I was watching, like, you're like, come on, like, you ain't really watching the Nets. Like,
you see everything.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you like, all right, bro, but, like, you're not
Bruce
really.
Wayne, he see everything. Man.
Yeah, nah, I've heard some of Bruce Wayne, so that's crazy. Yes. But but when he said it, you know what I'm saying, and really from a genuine perspective, looking me in the eye, like, nah, Spence, like, you really doing your thing, like you all-star my book. I was like, hold on, like the man give me the real respect, like, hey, like, see, you're doing it.
I'm glad he's saying this because this is no different than we came into the league and it was MJ, and I'm sure for the younger guys coming in, they looking at LeBron like, whoever you speaking of it from a different generation, but we've said it time and time again on this show, like, when you come into the NBA, and Kobe was even that, like, as a peer for us, it doesn't matter, when whoever has that title as the dude, when that dude is the dude, every single body else want to be seen by the dude.
For sure.
Like, you're not just out here just doing this. You want to be known. Like, nah, he need to know I'm one of them. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when you, no matter how it comes across, when you feel that they see you, that's a different. Talk about that feeling. Like, when you feel, oh wait, he acknowledged me. He know.
Oh man, listen, that validation, because especially, like I said, with, like, my career path and, like, being counted out and never being McDonald's or All-Star or whatever, like, there's not very many people that you look at and hear good things from or sing your praise or whatever. So you start to say, like, all right, I'm going to get validation from my parents. One day I want to get validation from Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to get validation from dropping 40 on this specific player. Like, you'll start to, like, my first start in Brooklyn was against the Cavs. And so, like, I was like, oh, like, I need to beat LeBron in my first start. Like, that was, so you're picking these moments, and it's not about what everybody else is saying, because you already know they're gonna tell you that you suck.
Exactly.
Like, fuck all that.
Gonna happen.
Yeah, like, they're not gonna tell me good stuff. But I'm gonna pick these moments, and if I really do what I need to do, like, these moments will happen. And so you think these things, and you hold on to these things almost like a child, right? So when he says that, you know what I mean? It's like, wait, hold on. No, wait. Like, you were really watching me. Like, you really. You know I've been hooping? Like, I mean, I know I've been hooping, but you know I've been hooping.
That's
you know
the race that the common fan don't see. Like, talking to Tatum the other day. You know what I'm saying? When he obviously, he went down against the Nets this year.
Yeah.
Y'all knew what he was on.
Oh, yeah.
and he was felt. You feel me? Like that's that fight. And then you see when they eliminate the Celtics, you see Harden, you see Kyrie. I mean, obviously Kyrie gonna do it, but you see all of those main dudes go up to Tatum to pay that respect. Yeah. Like, boy, like we know JB was out here kind of winging it, but like, boy, you gave us everything we wanted. Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, as a player, like I feel like that's why we exist on this podcast right now, because us as young boys, we didn't win a lot. Yeah, we didn't go and, you know, shake up the league, and that's in that term of like winning championships or going and contending or going to the play. Like, we just made noise because we was balling.
Exactly.
And we could like literally like same when you said like how you said, man, we felt like we was all peers. We were. Yeah. All of us was 19, 20. He was 18. Everybody was in their first, second year, and it was like everybody was at the starting line, like trying to get out the blocks and take off and be a superstar, be whoever. So it was like. It didn't matter. Like, we could be getting blowed out, and I ain't played the whole game. Yeah. Me, Keon, Gideon, like, he might have played because he normally was playing. Yeah. He was the top 3. He was normally playing, so it was be sometimes if Corey play, I don't play. If I play, Corey don't play. So we start getting smacked. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we getting in? Yeah. This first quarter for us. Yeah, you going this for is it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we might make a Sports Center highlight because we just getting out, but it might be trapped. But like, boy, trust me, we trying to do everything in those however many minutes. So that resonates so hard with me when you say we feel like, because that's what we were. We was out here trying to get it, and it was like that was where your respect was gained. So when I know what you mean, like, because I was watching it. You was game hard, but I'm like, damn, Spence. Like, I'm talking about for real. You remember a couple times I hit you, like, hey. I see you, boy. Yeah. You goddamn, if goddamn got your shit going, like, I see you. And it was cool and dope to see, especially the way it happened, like, see you go out, be completely out. Yeah. And I feel like people, you know what I'm saying, some people in your story won't acknowledge that and understand what that part of it meant, because some people just think it's just like, boom, boom, oh, this happened. No, I'm telling you, this is an integral part right here when you like, I'm in the G League. I'm not on assignment. No. I'm in the, like you said you could have took some money in China and you came here.
Different.
Tell me what that is like,
bro. When you're on assignment in the G League, I might as well be LeBron when I go down there, because they're gonna give me the 5-star hotel. They're gonna put them in the Holiday Inn. They're gonna put me in the Four Seasons.
Now, I never knew that.
What?
So wait, you don't even stay in the same living conditions as them when you go down. You big balling and you. So that's an unsavory situation.
Yeah, no, you go from being the 15th man to LeBron in the G League, and they run all the plays for you, all this other stuff.
And it's like whoever been the man, they got to sit here and watch. Yeah,
and they got to sit there and watch it. So there's this weird little friction, and so you kind of go down there. It's like it's kind of weird, but you're like, all right, whatever. I'm only gonna be down here 2-3 games, whatever, and you bounce. When you go down there for real, right?
That's it.
You're there.
No more 4 seasons.
Nah, you in the Holiday Inn, you sharing a room, the whole 9, double beds, like all that.
You got a roommate?
What?
Your bed right here, his bed right there. Y'all share the same bathroom.
What?
Oh, hell no.
What? Listen. You gotta remember.
Nothing else, ladies and gentlemen. That is the most humbling thing that you can even imagine. Bro, you don't even got no privacy. You got to hear him fart.
You got 6-hour bus rides. At one time we were done playing in, I think, like Grand Rapids, and took a 6-hour bus ride to like Erie, Pennsylvania, something like that. Like, there's all types of stuff that goes on, man. Like, it's different. And remember, like, if you're looking at China, you're like, oh, I can go get, I forget what the offer was.
Couple million.
Yeah, it was probably, I think mine was only like $1 million.
At least one.
Yeah, it was one something. Like, go to China, or you can get $25,000 to play in the G League. Like, you looking at it like
big slice of humble pie.
You looking at it like, boy, I don't know. Like, is that dream for me, or should I just take this bag? You know what I'm saying? Like, because, you string together 4, 5, 6 China years, you get a little tax-free bread. You start to plot out like, okay, I could have a nice little life. Like, it could all work out okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? You put a couple $1 million away. You're a smart guy. You'll figure it out. Like, you're starting to think something in that route. And you're like, hold on. I didn't settle and go to Harvard. Why the fuck would I settle now? Like, we're going to take this $25,000. We're going to try to roll these dice and make it shake. And like I said,
that's cold right there.
Yeah, Nate Linzer, my D-League coach, helped save the entire situation. But nah, that's super, super slice of humble pie. Like, I'm in there sharing rooms with actually one of my friends from LA, Wesley Saunders. Like, it was crazy.
You one of the basketball players that, has a brain on his shoulder. You're raised in a good family. You know how to think for yourself. A lot of stuff that they just can't get you to go just because you're a basketball player. Sometimes that's intimidating for organizations. Sometimes some people take that as being arrogant when that's not being arrogant. It's just thinking for myself. I know what I want to do. How is that for you to have teams that know that about you, that know that, oh, he going to think for himself. He's not the guy that do that. And try to lightweight, I don't want to say use the word discriminate, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, I think that was probably the hardest part about adjusting to the NBA for me, like, and learn the business, just because, like, it was flipped on me in a sense. And it was like, guys, like, if anything, I feel like I'm the most authentic hooper you got because I really, truly live and breathe this shit. I really, truly wanted to do this since I was 4. Like, yeah, I could have went to Harvard, but I chose this. Like, I chose the struggle. Like, I wanted to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and obviously, you know, don't be wrong, like, my family didn't really have money like that. We're smart people. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but I chose that path instead of saying, like, oh, I'll just be a doctor and make, you know what I'm saying, 100, 200, 300,000 a year until I'm 80. I didn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to, you know, do what I do. And so, you know, regardless of what you threw at me, like, there was still authenticity there of, like, wanting to do it. Whereas, like, a lot of guys who are like, you know what, I got my first bag, you freed the slave, I'm gone. Yeah. Like, because I don't even really want to hoop like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that was probably a struggle for me, just because, like, I just really wanted to play basketball. You know what I'm saying?
So tell me, you spoke on it a little bit, but how hard was that for you coming from a family, like you said, where there's nobody who plays sports or nobody who's looking at it like, this is what you like, and you say you got all these people that went to different schools, college, educational, and then they see that you could go to Harvard, and you like, nah, like, Colorado, and they like, what was that? Like, how, like, as far as, like, a family decision, like, obviously, yo, basketball people, you can't go to Harvard, like, you know what I'm saying? But, like, how was that, the difference from, like, your basketball people saying, you can't go to Harvard, then your family, like, this is the biggest thing ever? Exactly. Like, what you mean? Like, how was that, dealing with that as a, you know, a 16, 17-year-old kid?
I again have to give full credit to my parents, because they allowed, you know what I'm saying, a 17-year-old kid to make a grown man decision.
And I'm like, for them, I gotta salute the parents, because who gonna let you turn down Harvard, like, not knowing whether the NBA is really something?
I know,
like,
I wasn't McDonald, so it wasn't like the NBA was guaranteed. Like, and you know, it was something I was gonna have to fight for. And you know, I also see it's quite as kept too. The third choice was UCLA. I didn't go there because I was just kind of like we'll take you. You're, you know what I'm saying, state player of the year or city player of the year, whatever it was. Like, we'll take you. You know what I'm saying, because it'll look bad if we don't get you. But they didn't really want me. So I turned down Harvard and UCLA to go to Colorado, because they were like, we're in the Pac-12, but we need you. Like, if you're here, we have a chance. And I'm like, shoot, if I go hoop, I go to Pac-12. They got the most pros right now. All I got to do is do my job. You know what I'm saying?
Now, this part of it, I want to pull my pen and pad out, because you was about to put your whole contract in cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
How? And I've been hearing stuff back and forth, talk to a few people about cryptocurrency. Everybody tell us this the new wave.
Yeah.
And you took a big step, because you was the first one that wanted to walk through the door and trying to put not only the world, but you making the NBA hip to what's going on outside of, you know, the NBA just circle. How was that? And just tell us the process of everything and why it didn't go down and why you wanted it to happen.
Yeah. Oh man, now this I could talk about this for 3 hours. I mean, you look at any entertainment industry, right? Which is, at the end of the day, that's what we are, right? That's why, you know, the guys who put the butts in the seats, you know what I'm saying, are who they are, and the contract's so big, and TV money and all that stuff. Like people think that the most important part sometimes is the NBA organization, the shield, or the team, or even the player. Like, technically, it's not. The most important part is the fan. As long as they spend money,
as long as the entertainment,
we got a job. Yeah. Then from there, secondarily, the player is the second most important piece, because we have to actually be producing.
You got to entertain the fan.
You got to entertain them. You know what I mean? And that's why some sports don't make a lot of money, because the fans don't want to spend their money there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So the whole reason they're spending money is to get closer to the people, the product, whatever it is that they want, which is the player. Mm-hmm. So I was like, shoot, like, why shouldn't I open up my contract to the fans? Like, for me, it gives me more money, right? For them, they get to, you know what I'm saying, have fun investing in what they
be a part of it.
And be a part of it. Like, think about it. We're looking at We're looking at sports gambling going through the roof.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? All people want to do is be attached to this. Why? Because
affiliated.
because we can do things other people can't do.
I need you to dumb it down for me though. Like what? No, I'm serious because it's like it's cool. It's like I need like fans can invest. Like what is the why is it in the fans' interest to invest in your contract and what do they get out of it? Like you said, you get more money because they put money into it. But for the fan out, like what do they get from it? Why is it a good deal for them?
Okay, so it would depend on the ways in which that you did it and what incentives you want to offer, right? Like you could do it to where they get small percentages and things like that. So you could treat it like a bond, right? And in which case, like, why would I not want to get the Spencer bond instead of a government bond if it's going to pay the same, but I can also get courtside tickets to a game? You know what I'm saying? Like you can give perks and meet and greets and just things that are low lift for us, but they'll buy because it's us. You know what I'm saying? And so you're just finding new inventive ways to involve them in what it is that you're doing and going forward with that. So, for me, it was about like kind of looking at it from the perspective of fans want us in all facets. How can we continue to
provide that?
Yeah, provide that and decrease the friction. And one of the things they love is obviously our contracts. That's why they're so public and they know if we hit X amount of 3-pointers, we get a bonus. Well, what if I said like, okay, if I hit those threes, like I'll give you 10% of my bonus. Like because you guys gave me X amount of dollars or whatever it is up front and all this other stuff. Like you can play the game however you want to play it, whatever's right for you. And so it was about having people rethink this relationship between players and fans and having kind of players also open their minds to like, oh shit, like, really like these are the people. Like
it don't got to be stuck with just organization and players. It can be everybody can be involved in getting this money.
So why wasn't it allowed?
Man, look.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why wasn't it allowed?
Me in the NBA.
I know you don't see eye to eye. You still said they wrong. I saw you.
Well, I mean, look at it. They said they were going to kick me out the league, and I'm still playing. So obviously it wasn't like that, but that's also water in the bridge.
I didn't know they said you were going to get kicked out of the league.
What? Legal action? Kick me out of the league? All that stuff. They said a lot of wild stuff. At the end of the day, though, it's water under the bridge because, like, it also got them thinking more into blockchain. They also are partners in one of the companies that I am involved with, which is Dapper Labs, and that's how you got to get Top Shot.
Like, hold up, you in Top Shot? I seen that thing explode. How you like that? Like you look at him.
He's trying to be a part of that.
Like, I still got my Bitcoin going anyway. Shit, I'm smiling.
Trying to be a part of that CEO.
Look, Top Shot. That's like one of the biggest things that then boom. Yeah. So you on the ground floor of that, huh, my boy?
Yeah. So Roham, the CEO, is my guy, and so I was fortunate.
Roham, what's up? Knuckleheads, QBG, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, what you saying?
No. Like, I was fortunate enough to get in with them because Dapper Labs had originally made an app called CryptoKitties on the Ethereum blockchain, and they're famous for basically like kind of throttling the network, which just means they slowed it down to a crawl because they had too much like fan base, too much activity. So they ended up building their own blockchain called Flow, and ended up trying to get these enterprise partnerships, and I was able to be on the ground floor of that. And obviously, in terms of the NBA, starting to rethink blockchain, how they viewed things, started to steer their mind towards that. So, all the hardships that happened through my contract bullets I took for things like that, and even though it didn't happen the exact way that I wanted to, I ended up.
You put them up on game.
Yeah, I ended up being a part of it.
You gave some good shit for free. Next time, charge that.
No, he got compensation on the backside.
Listen. I got Dapper Lab.
No. He come around the backside.
He came around the corner on some other stuff.
Hey, listen, I looked at it like this, right? Like, I was able to get Dapper Labs around the corner, and so got them in there. And then also, remember, like, for me, a war with the NBA is never good because I still plan on playing. Like, I just obviously signed for 60. So if I go to war with them just to prove a point, but I don't get my 60, is it worth it?
No.
Probably not. So, we make friends, and Adam Silver's a great commissioner. I understand why the league would be scared to let somebody do that because, if I do mess it up or whatever, there's liability and other things. And I feel like that's why they should have took a shot on me because, like, I'm the player that wants to do it, and so I'm not going to, like, deliberately screw everybody over. Like, I wouldn't do something like that.
It's a history of that. Like, it's a history of players that it be them specific players that takes the hits for the NBA to really realize like what's going on in the world and what's going on outside them, and then they accept it. But it always be that player that when they first walk through the door, like AI.
For sure.
You know, he was the first guy that had to take the hits for the cornrows, the tattoos, the baggy clothes, and all that stuff. And now you see the guys can really express themselves.
Exactly.
A lot of guys took a hit for guys to express themselves now. So all you did was just take the hit from the beginning, and now the NBA is open to cryptocurrency. They open to doing things. I wanted to ask you another thing too, since you the smart guy. NFTs, man. Gary V hit me up and told me, man, you need to get up on NFTs. And I was like, what's NFTs? He was like, find out. And I was like, damn, Gary.
He like, you just gonna leave me out here like that? I thought
you gonna give me homework? I thought you put me on some good shit for free. You know what I'm saying? But I heard NFTs is the new wave, man. The hotel we staying in, man, they got a little
whole
NFT
display.
Little set up downstairs.
Really?
And, you know, us knuckleheads want to get part of that NFT game and see what's going on. Like, so tell us more about the NFT game.
So NFT just means non-fungible token. So basically what that means is if you look at like a Bitcoin, right? Like if I gave you one Bitcoin, it doesn't mean that you have the first and he has the second. You know what I'm saying? They're just Bitcoin, right? There's 21 million. They're just kind of in circulation. Well, non-fungible token, they put a serial number essentially on each, you know what I'm saying, token. So it could be like you have the first Bitcoin, you have the second Bitcoin, you have the third. And so obviously scarcity gives value, right? So if you look at anything in life, if there's less of it, it's probably more valuable, right? When people drop shoes and they say, oh, it's a 1 of 1 or 1 of 10, they're more valuable, right? So
like
looking
cars and stuff.
And so that's exactly what kind of the NFT play is, right? It's like digitally verified scarcity is pretty much the game. So when you look at Panini cards when they come out, 1 of 10, 1 of 100, whatever it is. So you're just doing that in a digital version. Because it's on the blockchain, it's more transparent, more secure, and you can kind of transfer the value easier than with like a Panini card or whatever, because you're trusting Panini to verify the stuff, whereas like the blockchain, you can't really lie to it.
All right, so when we get our building in Silicon Valley, just let me know and I'll set up my office myself and you know, put my
I got you, OG.
My stuff. I know you're going to have a building in Silicon Valley in a minute, so just let me get an office. Corner office I prefer, but, you know, I'll take anything.
So now, you know, I want to talk about money. We talking about a lot of Bitcoin and all this. Like, I remember you first came in, you got your little Tesla. We was like, what the fuck you doing getting a Tesla in Detroit? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I need a Tesla. I'm in Florida. I also want a Tesla so bad.
So this was... I don't want to hear about it. We know you the smart guy. We know you done goddamn invested and did some big things on that side. I want to know what the other part of the family Spencer did when you got some bread. I don't want to hear about I took care of mama. I don't want to hear about
you want to hear about the one thing.
I want to hear about the frivolous purchase that Spencer Dinwiddie did to make him feel good. Even though he might have had a little
sugar, do something to make me feel better.
Hey, you know what I'm talking about?
No. I'll tell you.
It's the bad question. I like that.
Question.
What you did? We got big dumbass chains. We got whips. We got cars. All this and that. Like what did Spence do?
No chains.
No haircut, no chains.
No haircut. The two things that I got that are my purchases, I got the Black Panther AP.
Wait, you mean the automatic
Black Panther,
Black Panther version?
Yeah, the Black Panther.
Okay, never heard of that, never knew, but Mr. Nice Watch,
so my second favorite superhero, the Iron Man, and my favorite color is purple. So
yes, we know that Iron Man, he thinks he's Tony Stark.
You know,
that's part of his smart guy.
Hey, those are my guys. So I got that, and then secondarily, the Koenigsegg Chimera.
The what? Did you understand what he said? What did you say?
It's a car.
Say it again.
Koenigsegg Chimera.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not.
Yeah, too many people won't heard of that. They don't even know that.
I ain't the only person on this listening to this.
He thought he ordered something to eat or something.
What he just said. I thought he said a restaurant or something. Say that again.
Koenigsegg Chimera. So Koenigsegg is a Swedish car company. I believe Swedish. 1 of 300. It's the first Mega GT, so it's a 4-seater hypercar. It has, I believe, 2,000 combined horsepower, 0 to 60.
You know who I seen the Blondie?
Oh, Supercar Blondie?
Yeah. She put that out. I said, ooh, what's that?
Hold on, bro. How much that cost? See, he told me, look, we ain't heard this. Look, everybody be like, yeah, El Dorado, we got a Phantom, we got a Maybach, we got, this bitch just said something, I don't even know how to say the right way. What you said?
Now you going to have all the rappers going to get them.
My
2,000 horsepower super, what was it, you say hyper or supercar? There's a lot of supercars.
Well, it's the first 4-seater hypercar. They call it a Mega GT. So, yeah.
You got a picture? Can I see it?
Well, I mean, we could pull it up. It comes.
Right, we can't pull it up.
So with those boutique type cars, like first you buy the slot, then you put down the 50% deposit, and they make it for you. Yeah. And so it'll be here in 2023, I believe. But
I ain't even got that motherfucker yet. Ooh,
nah, it's
Yeah, I seen the blind girl have that joint.
Type it in there. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see what this shit
Can he
look
spell it?
Yeah, I don't even know what he said, boy. I said, well, I thought for sure. I was like, I would at least know. I ain't never even heard of this junk.
Nah, it's different.
Hey, yeah, see, he ain't, oh, yeah. That boy out here like Tony Stark's for real with this demo. And it's a 4-seater?
Yeah.
Hey, y'all need to see this. You say you getting it in 2023?
Something like that. I believe that's when the production cycle will drop it.
Man, it's 2021. You paying for a car 3 years from now?
Yeah.
2 years from now?
Yeah,
man, that's Tony Stark, bro.
It's different. Like everybody can go get a Wraith or a Cullinan or Bentayga or whatever. But like
you gotta wait 3-4 years to get
complete accountability. My whole life, I've only did that one time, and I'll never do it again. What? I have no patience. I'm terrible with that. When the fucking what was it? It was the Bentley Continental Fly Spur. When that car first dropped, I did what you did.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to be stuntastic. Go to the dealership, sit with them, get champagne, talk my shit, and design and do this and do that. Then you gotta wait, bruh. I didn't even want the damn car when I got it no more. I was like, what? Like I got that bitch a year later. I don't want this car no more. Everybody seen people with it. Like I got it. I was like,
but see, that's the difference though. A Bentley.
I mean, it's different. Yeah, it's different. This
some
other shit. This ain't really. I don't even know how to say this.
Nah, there will only ever be 300. They won't make more. So
it's only this gonna be a cash cow right here. Even gonna pass that long. You keep that bitch in mint condition, less than 1,000 miles. They're gonna be like, yeah, keep less than 1,000 miles. Like my Audi was less than that shit had like 700 miles. I ain't never drive that bitch.
Yeah. And then like the Panther crazy, is 1 or 250, I believe. So like the things I usually get are like very bespoke and like you can't
a car like a NFT.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. For example, like you just said, if I gotta wait a year or 2 years or whatever to get something, but then everybody's gonna have it, and it's something that like is not unique. Like why? Like for example, I know like people have started to drive a lot of Urus, Lamborghinis, and McLarens and things like that. They're like easy cars to get into because you can lease them in this and the third. Like if you look at like the really like exclusive Ferraris and things, why do people not drive Ferraris? Because you have to actually buy them. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can't just lease them anywhere. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like things like this. Like, you're not gonna lease no Koenigsegg. Like it's 1 of 300. Like when you see the tag on that, like that's actually mine. Like there's only 299 more, and I think the actual owner of Koenigsegg has one. So there's only 298 in the world that are gonna drive around.
So you that's crazy. So you was part of the biggest trade in NBA history.
Yeah.
Was you aware of that?
Yeah.
How that feel? But not only that, to afford the culminating you getting a 3-year deal, 62. That's a lot of money. Like, I know it was discrepancies. You could have made a bit more, but I mean, 62 coming from, like you say, G League, out the league, second round. Like, this a lot more money than second round picks ever get to ever see.
Yeah.
Like, how that feel to go, you know what I'm saying? Does that just let you know, like, I was on the right path, I was doing what was right?
Yeah, and it makes you, when you sign something like that, and that's when you had a conversation with parents and things like that, and you start looking back, you look at the journey, you're so appreciative for all the moments. And so like I said, with the Detroit and setting the foundation, learning how to be a pro and understanding that injuries kind of gave me opportunity, but also understand like I walked through the door as well, because it takes two parts. You know what I'm saying? I would never wish an injury on anybody. I've had two, but that person has to walk through that door and take advantage of it. And, being a part of the biggest trade in history and, things being complicated, it's very on brand. But, it's an honor and a blessing. I mean, I don't know many second round picks whose career earnings by the time they're done will probably cross triple digits. You know what I mean? I'm probably maybe 50. Yeah, I'm probably like 15 or so short of that. But like if I play another 5 years, there's no way I should make another 15. You know what I mean? Like Like,
but so just for you, like, how did that feel? Like you say, you went from second round pick to where you felt you should have been better than that, picked higher, then legit G League, out of the league, not on assignment, not with a team, and now here you are, one of the guys, you know what I'm saying, like a severe player in the league.
Yeah. Shoot, I mean, it's a blessing. Like I said, there's so many things that had to happen for it to happen, and then there's a million other ways and scenarios it could have gone. Like, I could have chose China for the bag. Like, you know, my teammates and friends could have not gotten hurt, and I could have never played. You know what I mean? And it's just like there's no other way, I guess, to feel other than blessed. I mean, obviously you have to put in the actual hard work. So some of that is like, you know, you got your swag to you. You understand, like, you did this, but a lot of times too, like, these were blessings too. Now, like, this wasn't just all like Spencer just like, you know, just walked in just swagging on everything. Like you had to have that confidence, but you also had to have those doors open, and you know, so it's equal parts. Like, I feel really good. I feel really confident. I think Wizards have a chance to make the playoffs, and I think I have a chance, you know what I'm saying, to make an all-star game before my career is done. But I also understand, like, you know, a lot of things had to happen just to get here, and so thankful.
Working. When we got to LA, it was 2000. You was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Do you remember any Clipper stories of times when we was down there? And
y'all were famous for the 2 taps to the head, man. Like, that was big time, and dunking on people and fun and all that.
Yeah, I was dunking on people, not him. We're gonna leave the dunking out. You know, we don't disrespect.
This is a recurring thing.
Don't disrespect the show like that. It's a dunker and it's a shooter. First of all, the dunk conversation we can have.
See, this is where you go wrong with this conversation. Young fella was there. 2014, 13, 15. I'm dunking off vertical, remember? Under the basket, still to this day. Not even playing no workout, no warm-up, vertical. 2 hands on the numbers. Don't play with me.
When was
I'm done with the game. Am I not?
He could dunk still. Like,
but he wasn't a dunker. Anybody can dunk in the gym with nobody down there. I'm talking about dunker in game. You know, in games count more than in the gym with nobody, right? Yeah, so us dunkers talking, but yeah, you remember us dunking and stuff? Me dunking and stuff, yeah.
It's Googleable, people. It's Googleable.
Definitely like, me. And you remember how fun it was. And then now being in the league, you realize like how impactful that is too.
Yeah.
You know, like, obviously, like I said, I grew up a Lakers fan, so like I'm not gonna like cap y'all or nothing. So you're like, oh, okay, Lakers like winning championships, boom. Like, you think like it's a championship winner and everybody else is a bum, right?
Yeah.
But then like when you get in the league, you're like, holy shit, and you look back at all these things, you're like, damn, like,
you know, the other team.
Yeah, the way they were rocking, like, that was fucking special. Like to have that liveness and that fun and that atmosphere and that camaraderie and things like that. Like I said, I experienced with the 2018-19 Nets team.
Yeah.
And we only went to the first round and we lost. Like, we lost 4-1. You know what I'm saying? But like, even being in there and making it there was like a stepping stone, a milestone. Like, so all those things, you start to just have this like immense respect for everybody that's even been able to step foot into the brotherhood. And for you guys to like change the game, be transformative, and to kind of blend pop culture and make shit fun, like, that's huge.
Yeah, that's the one thing I just be preaching to everybody. You know, everybody can't win a championship.
Yeah.
But they'll act like you never achieved success.
Yeah.
Like, you never had fun or it wasn't a success. Yeah, us as players and competitors, we ain't win a championship. We feel like we ain't succeed, but we still achieved something. And one of the things y'all definitely did with that Nets team, y'all achieved something. The whole league didn't expect y'all to do what y'all did, and y'all did it. And all them guys from that team didn't succeed. We see Jared Allen with $100 million in his pocket right now. You know what I'm saying? You got your money, LeVert over there, you know what I'm saying? D'Angelo, ice cold in the veins, you know what I'm saying, man? I love to watch y'all play back then, and that was definitely dope, and we definitely appreciate you coming out rocking with us, man.
All right, man, that's been a wrap, man. We out here live on location in La La Land. We got my main man, Bitcoin, Dinwiddie.
Bitcoin.
We learned about some NFTs. We got one of the baddest young boys out here, man. Y'all watch the Wizards this year. He gonna do it big. Him and Beal and the squad. Appreciate you, young fella.
Thank you, fella.
Detroit Ties, my young boy, young Rook. Now we here.